Hey everyone! When comedian and actor John Witherspoon passed away on October 29, 2019, at the age of 77, the world lost one of its most beloved and unmistakable comedic voices. The man whose unique blend of fatherly wisdom, unfiltered humor, and infectious personality made him a cornerstone of black entertainment for more than 4 decades. To millions, he was Pops, the no-nonsense, chicken-eating, robe-wearing, wisdom-dropping dad from Friday the Wayans Brothers and the Boondocks. His sudden death shocked fans and fellow entertainers alike, leaving an enormous void in both comedy and culture. But when the time came to celebrate his life at his public memorial, fans and media couldn't help but notice something that stirred deep conversation and controversy. Several of his most famous co-stars from the Friday film series, including Ice Cube, Chris Tucker, and others, were not in attendance. The absence of the Friday cast sparked rumors, accusations, and endless online speculation. People began asking, was there tension behind the scenes? Did bad blood, personal schedules, or Hollywood politics keep the stars away? The truth, as always in Hollywood, is far more layered and tragic than anyone expected. Because the story of why some didn't attend John Witherspoon's funeral isn't just about who showed up, but about the painful reality of fame, distance, and how the entertainment industry handles loss when the laughter stops. To understand why emotions ran so high, we have to go back to who John Witherspoon was and what he meant to his castmates. Long before Friday made him a household name, Witherspoon was already a legend in comedy circles. Born in Detroit in 1942, he started his career as a stand-up comedian, performing in small clubs and developing a style that mixed old-school storytelling with sharp, observational humor. He was a mentor to young comedians like Richard Pryor, Robin Harris, and David Letterman, and he helped pave the way for the new generation of black comedy in the 1980s and 1990s. By the time Friday came along in 1995, Witherspoon had already built a solid television resume, appearing on Good Times, The Richard Pryor Show, and 227. But it was Friday that changed everything. His portrayal of Mr. Jones, the grumpy yet lovable father to Ice Cube's Craig, stole the show with every scene. His timing, his delivery, his iconic "you got to coordinate" lines, all cemented him as one of the most quoted characters in comedy history. Behind the scenes, however, the Friday family wasn't quite as close-knit as it appeared on screen. While Ice Cube, Chris Tucker, and Witherspoon shared great chemistry during filming, time, fame, and the business side of Hollywood slowly began to pull them apart. After the first Friday, Chris Tucker skyrocketed to superstardom with Rush Hour. Ice Cube built a media empire, and Witherspoon continued to grind as a character actor and stand-up performer, never achieving the same financial rewards as his younger co-stars. Despite that, he remained humble, continuing to work in television, voice acting, and live comedy tours well into his 70s. He often spoke lovingly of his time on Friday, but also with a tinge of disappointment. In interviews, he revealed that he wasn't paid much for the original film, a mere $5,000, and that residuals were non-existent. For him, Friday was a labor of love, not luxury. That reality created a quiet divide between him and some of his wealthier peers. When Witherspoon passed, the Friday family was in a complicated place. Talks of a long-awaited sequel, Last Friday, had been dragging on for years, with Ice Cube publicly expressing frustration about the project being stalled by studio politics. John Witherspoon was supposed to reprise his role as Pops in the film, but his death brought those plans to a painful halt. It also reopened old wounds about Hollywood's treatment of veteran black tribute to Witherspoon on Twitter, calling him one of the funniest, coolest fathers on the planet, and promising that his legacy would live on. Chris Tucker posted a heartfelt message too, saying how much he loved and respected Pops. But when the funeral was held at the Forest Lawn Memorial Park in Los Angeles on November 5, 2019, fans immediately noticed that many of the Friday cast members weren't seen among the attendees. The service itself was beautiful, emotional, intimate, and deeply spiritual. Celebrities like David Letterman, Cedric the Entertainer, George Wallace, Bill Bellamy, and Shawn Wayans were present, sharing stories that had everyone laughing through tears. Witherspoon's wife Angela and their sons JD and Alexander spoke lovingly of the man behind the jokes, the husband and father who kept everyone laughing even in their darkest times. Yet the absence of Friday's biggest names was impossible to ignore, and within hours the internet was ablaze with speculation. Some fans accused the Friday stars of being fake Hollywood friends, while others defended them, saying the industry often makes public mourning difficult due to travel, filming schedules, or privacy concerns. In truth, several factors played into why some of the cast couldn't attend. Chris Tucker, for example, was reportedly overseas doing a charity event at the time and had already recorded a video tribute for the family. Ice Cube, meanwhile, was working on multiple projects and was in the middle of ongoing production meetings for new film and television ventures, including the last Friday script negotiations. Though fans felt he should have made the time, sources close to Cube said he was devastated by Witherspoon's passing and had spoken to the family privately. Others, like Mike Epps, paid tribute on social media but didn't appear in person. In Hollywood, the intersection of public image, scheduling, and genuine grief often leads to misunderstandings. People expect celebrities to mourn publicly, forgetting that not everyone grieves in front of cameras. However, there was also quiet talk in entertainment circles about how the Friday cast had drifted apart long before Witherspoon's death, not out of animosity, but out of the natural distance that comes when careers and lives move in different directions. For many of the younger cast members, Friday was just one chapter in a long career, but for John Witherspoon, it was a cornerstone of his legacy. He had remained connected to fans through interviews, comedy tours, and podcasts, always reminiscing about Friday with affection and humour. His humble personality made him relatable. He never lost that neighbourhood uncle energy that fans adored. In the aftermath of his funeral, Ice Cube and others faced harsh criticism online. Some accused them of being disrespectful, while others came to their defence, arguing that attendance doesn't define love. Cube eventually broke his silence indirectly by posting more tributes to Witherspoon and later dedicating portions of interviews to his memory. "Pops was a legend," he said in one appearance. "He made everyone better." Nobody could do what he did. It was clear that the love was real, even if the physical presence wasn't. Chris Tucker also addressed it in a later interview, saying, "Man, John was like a father to me on that set. I'll never forget him. Sometimes we can't be everywhere, but my love for him is forever." What most fans didn't know was that John Witherspoon himself had often lamented how the entertainment world forgets its elders. He once joked on a podcast, "When I die, they'll show up for the cameras, but they ain't calling me now." Those words, though said in jest, cut deep in retrospect. They reflected a truth many older black entertainers have felt, that Hollywood celebrates you when you're gone, but rarely while you're alive. Perhaps the most tragic part of this story isn't who did or didn't attend his funeral, but that it took his passing for people to fully appreciate his genius. His son J.D. Witherspoon, also a comedian, said after the funeral that what hurt most was seeing people who ignored his father in his later years suddenly post tributes for likes and attention. "It's weird to see people who didn't even call him saying how much they loved him," he said. "But that's Hollywood." In the years since his passing, the absence at the funeral has come to symbolize something larger, a reflection of how fractured and transactional the entertainment world can be. Fame separates people. Careers pull them in different directions. And sometimes when the people who built those memories together start to fade, they do so quietly, without fanfare. The Friday cast may not have all gathered physically to say goodbye, but in truth, every one of them has carried John Witherspoon's legacy, his mannerisms, his humour. It's all echoed in the generations of comedians and actors who followed. Without Witherspoon, there's no Pops on the Boondocks, no bang 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 memes, no blueprint for the sitcom father who's equal parts stern and silly. The tragedy isn't that the Friday cast didn't attend his funeral. It's that Hollywood didn't give him his flowers while he was alive. He gave the world decades of laughter, joy, and wisdom, often for little pay and even less recognition. His absence has made people realize how irreplaceable he truly was. In the end, funerals are just ceremonies. What matters most is legacy. And John Witherspoon's legacy will outlive every headline, every rumor, and every controversy. Whether his co-stars were there in person or in spirit, one thing remains certain. Pops left behind a laughter-filled legacy that can never be buried. The real tribute is that every time someone quotes one of his lines, every time a fan watches Friday and laughs out loud, John Witherspoon lives again. Because true legends, like his humor, never die. They just keep making the world laugh from another place. Thanks for watching.